Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome. At the time I'm making this video, I do not have a name for this channel. I just wanted to kind of test the water and make a video and see if it even works. If you're seeing this, then it did. And by that point, the channel will be named. But for now, it's nameless. My name is Glow. I collect BTS, primarily my two alts, which are Jin and V. So basically my entire collection is very just Jin and V. So that's what you'll see. I've been collecting about 2 years. I'm a pretty fast collector because that's pretty much all I do. It's like my major hobby. So I kind of wanted to share my collection journey. I wanted to do some binder tours just so people can see like the cards, how I lay things out. Right now I've gotten to a pretty good point in my collection where I don't have a ton of stuff to add to it. So my collecting is a little slower, but there's also quite a few like niche or rare items that I'm hunting that will be added in the future, I hope. So when we get Mercari batch hauls, when we get hauls from solo albums, like we still have Jin's album next year coming out, so I will be trying to get as much as I can from that, so you'll see videos for that. But right now, I figure the best thing to do is to kind of just start with current binder tours and kind of see this is the starting point for this channel, this is the starting point for this endeavor, and we will go from there. I do have 14 binders as of now. Some are small and a few of them are the chunky ones. For this first video, I'm just going to go through this binder just as a warm-up activity, and for future ones we'll do them a little longer. We'll go through a couple binders. So there won't be 14 different videos for all binders. That being said, let's get started. So this particular binder is for Korean and Japanese album cards. You'll also see there's a few inclusions in here, there's a few extras in here, and at the back there's another section for just kind of Japan cards that are a little miscellaneous that aren't really big enough to have their own binder or their own section, like to go in another section, so they're kind of at the back. In case you don't already know, this is a binder from Prism Platinum. So are the pages and the sleeves. It's just really nice for collections if you like A5 style binders. Because I collect 2 members, I find A5 is really good because then I can put them together. You can kind of like play off that. Everything is in pairs. Whereas like in 9 pockets, when you collect 2, it tends to be kind of disjointed. It tends to be kind of it's hard to figure it out without having a lot of binder fillers to make it more aesthetic. So anyways, I will start. There's not a whole lot to say really about this binder. It's pretty complete in terms of cards and layout. There are some things in the Japan section I'd like to add, but the Korea section is pretty much in a good place. This one continuously falls out, so I'll fix that. Everything is in release date order. So even if something is from a certain era, if it was released more recently, then it's going to be in release date order. That's just how I keep it. I don't know why. I know I could keep it in era order, but... so as you see, we're just going through the sets, the different albums. You'll always notice, unless I messed up somewhere, it would always be Jin and then Tae. The one thing I find amusing, since I have Jin and Tae side by side through so many binders now, is you'll notice they tended to match hair and a lot of concepts. Like even back here, they're both brunette. It's just something I don't think it's easily noticeable when it's like OT7 kind of thing, or if they're side by side with another member. Obviously that's not the case here. However, we do also have Jin with blue hair very, very briefly when Tae had blue hair, so I find that kind of amusing. In terms of BTS World, I know I'm missing a couple. I know I'm missing, I don't exactly know what they're called, but the ones that are on a pink background. I don't intend to collect them. If I happen upon them well, I don't know why I'm trying to say that word. If I happen upon them as an opportunity buy, then sure, but otherwise I'm not going to actively hunt them. I consider BTS World done for my personal collection, though it does bother me that it breaks up the Mott set, so then they land up being like this. However, because of the way B is formatted, it also works out in the end. So, and then it goes back to being normal for butter, so I guess it works out, but it still bothers me a little bit. So then we got proof, and then like I was saying, like I know this is from Love Yourself Her, but they were released after proof, so therefore they go after proof in the binder. That's the only reason. I just wanted to keep things in chronological release order in terms of physical release, not necessarily era release. Then we just got the 2 inclusions. And now we're moving into Japan cards. Again, these are just kind of filler. I don't have a big enough section to put these in to give them their own space yet. So for now, they're here just because they match his hair. Also, you'll notice, especially in this section, I'm missing some Tae stuff. Eventually, it is on the list. If you see Jin and no Tae, or Tae and no Jin, 100% I'm going to try to get the others eventually. These were a pain to get. Obviously, they're harder to find sometimes, so I don't know. Anyways, we actually have my favorite card here, and it's because honestly I was looking to finish Jin set for this, and I could not find this card for a good price, just regular, normal, unsigned. Could not find it. At the time, there wasn't as many options. It wasn't as easy to buy from Mercari. And obviously, it has to be, someone has to have it for sale on Instagram or some other selling group, but it was nowhere to be found. Drive me nuts, looking forever. When I put out a little note saying, hey, this is something I'm looking for, I actually had a seller reach out to me going like, hey, I do need to get rid of this card. And as you can see, it's signed. I honestly only paid a little bit more than I would have paid on eBay for one that was overpriced and regular without sign. So I'm like, you know what, let's do it. This is a signed Yokohama limited venue event for I Need You. There's not a lot of these. They're hard to find now. This is, for a year and a half, this was the only one I saw, so I was always a little worried. I'm like, I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if it's authentically signed. I can't really tell. It looked like his signature looks good, but I also couldn't find any other venue PCs of any other member to even compare it to, and I could never find another one of Jin. And I still haven't seen another one of Jin, honestly. But recently I did find a collector who has a bunch of them, and it's like, it was very reassuring, like, yes, this is, I'm pretty, like, 90% sure this is a good. I'm really happy to have it in my collection. One day I would love to get Tae, but since Jin came to me very, like, as a really good opportunity buy, I kind of doubt I'll ever get Tae, but we'll see. I also have just recently added these two Run PCs, and I have Jin Youth because I absolutely love Jin with like soft, like bleach blonde hair. I love when he has cards that have bleach blonde hair just because they feel kind of special, even though I love all his hair colors. So we have this. I do want to get Tae's. There's a spot for him on the back, so we'll eventually do that. And then just rounding out the rest of the Japan PCs. So obviously we haven't had Japan release in a while, so it ends with the best. Which is, honestly, this is one of my favorite concepts. It's so cozy. As I mentioned earlier, this section is basically for kind of miscellaneous like raffles and lotteries and things like that. What do they call them? Fortune boxes. Things that Japan gets that we don't in other countries. I should mention that I am a Canadian collector, so if you hear me talking about prices, it's going to be in Canadian dollars, so sometimes things are going to sound really expensive, but if you're a US collector, you can probably shave quite a bit off because our dollar is quite different right now. So we have these, and with these ones, and this is what I mean with price, is, again, keep in mind that because the Canadian dollar is weaker right now, if I say like, hey, this PC was $100 when I bought it, that's about $70 in US. So it sounds a lot more dramatic and it sounds like, oh my gosh, you overpaid or something like that. I won't be mentioning prices too often, but if I do happen to mention them, that's why. And that's the difference. I did recently just add these two just last week. Maybe last 2 weeks, this one the week before and this one last week. This I got off Instagram and this I got off Mercari, which I was a little worried about, but it turned out well. Thankfully, the prices for these two have dropped a lot. Back when I first started even looking at them, I was just like, there's no way I'm getting Tae, he's too expensive. Even Jin at the time was very expensive, so his cards were like much more than they are now, back unfortunately when I got them. So we've seen the pricing come down, so it's like, took the chance, worked out really well, so I was able to get these, and I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but they have the nice star and heart hollow. I did recently try to get this from Mercari. It was actually canceled because it didn't pass inspection, which I found reassuring because that was the first time that's happened. I always pay for it on the more expensive cards because that's basically the only protection you have. So I guess when it came in, there was no specific reason, but I guess either it was fake or it was damaged or there was something wrong with it that didn't match the listing. So they canceled and refunded it, which, as much as I would have loved to get this card, I'm really, really happy it didn't pass inspection, and so therefore it's like I got my money back and it's like a non-issue and I can just go look for it again. That being said, it's like one of the things with Mercari that always sucks, and it's unfortunate, is when I did buy this card from the seller, the listing was good, their feedback was good, and when you looked at the other items they were selling, it was just pretty normal K-pop stuff. By the time it got canceled because it didn't pass inspection, it actually had multiples of various members, all for the same price, all from this set, which is obviously a huge red flag. So at the time of purchase, those weren't listed. By the time mine got canceled, they were. So I wouldn't have bought from the seller if those were the listings at the time. So again, super, super grateful that it landed up being canceled, even if I don't have it now. That'd just be something I add to the binder for later. The last thing, since this is for album PCs generally, is I have this one Taiwan inclusion. It's, I just got it the other week. So it's cute Pizza Jin. I do eventually want to collect all of these for Jin and Tae, but right now they're really expensive. They're hard to find. I just happened upon this one and decided, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what one's like, and if I like them, I'll try. They're kind of low priority. If I see them for a good price, if I see them in general to purchase, then I might slowly add them to my collection. But for now, I'm good with Jin. It's a really cute, I want to say photo card because they're just oversized, but it's postcard. So anyways, thank you for staying with me this whole time. This is my first video, so it could be a little weird. Or maybe I'll never get better. I don't know. But we're going to keep trying. So, in the future, we'll go through more binders than just one, but this is mainly just a warm-up. Because I want to see how it goes. So thank you so much for staying to the end. Have a good day, night,